Welcome to Buzzn The Tower, a podcast dedicated to the movies of the 1980s and the 1990s. I'm Mo Shapiro, that's Max Sanders, and today we will honor and remember the late and great Carl Weathers.
Because some damn fool said you were the best.
Dillon, you son of a bitch.
There's no more perfect image to say goodbye to someone than the handshake between him and Arnold. I saw one where he was the Ghostbuster, like they did in the Ghostbuster, kind of like angle and special effects, and it got me.
Did you see there's a Geico commercial where all it show it's not a real Geico commercial, but it's Arnold, it's Dutch and Dillon, the handshake, and then it's like, Geico, you can save 5 or whatever it is. I was like, yeah, that's great. Ugh. All right, so look, we're gonna do this episode. You'll probably cry. You cry about weird stuff, I have to say, but
says the terms of endearment guy.
That is a reasonable thing to cry over.
Give her the shot.
If you love the movies of the 80s and 90s and late 70s, which we're going to have, unavoidably we'll speak about that. And quite frankly, The Mandalorian. If you love those movies, there's no way that you can't love Carl Weathers. And I have to say, of all celebrity deaths that have taken place in my lifetime, this one hit me hard. And maybe it's because we're in the midst of this podcast and we just got done doing an Action Jackson podcast a month ago?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This was a gut punch.
There's something, because he was such a big, powerful, healthy, presence. Yeah. There's something about that feels like your gods got taken away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Super likable.
Yeah. Who didn't like Carl Weathers?
You're right. Exactly. So Max, welcome to the show.
Hi.
We will slog through this the best we can with a smile and a twinkle in our eye, because that's what Carl would have wanted.
That's what Apollo wanted.
It's all in the hips.
Yeah.
So a reminder, if this is your first time listening to or watching the show, make sure that you subscribe, follow, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast player that you listen to. If you're bold and brave enough to go over to YouTube, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah, you can see our smiling faces.
And you can see our incredible sponsor. Well, I should pause on the sponsor. Go to youtube.com/@Buzzn The Tower, BUZZN The Tower. Click that subscribe, follow, whatever button on there so you get notifications when these new videos pop up. I'd love to give a shout out to our sponsor, 80stees.com, who's kind enough to give us this lovely shirt.
Nice.
I know you're not supposed to have a favorite, you have all your children.
Yeah.
This is my favorite 80s t-shirt, the Miyagi-Do t-shirt.
It's a good one.
It's straight off of.
Makes your arms look big. Carl Weathers' ass.
I did that in honor of.
Did you oil up today?
I did
Coconut
not oil.
oil?
I need help to oil me. I'm a large man, so it takes a
I'll do it next
two-person
time.
job. I don't want you to ever oil me.
Okay.
So I'm glad we got that out of the way. I also have to pivot. Well, I keep on wanting to jump around. Any social media platform that exists, with the exception of Grindr, we're on, right?
I'm on Grindr.
You're on Grindr. So the tag is @Buzzn The Tower, especially TikTok. TikTok is where Max gets in the kitchen and we just let him cook.
Yeah.
He's making magic.
And we're going to put that stuff on YouTube soon.
We're going to do all YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like Eat My Shorts, Bart Simpson. But
yeah. Although people are giving you crap about our new popular Ferris Bueller one.
Yeah.
You don't understand the word fetish.
I know what the word fetish means. And it's not
I
people.
knew it was gonna.
One person said it.
And don't tell me it didn't bother you. Don't tell me it didn't bother you.
And talk about comments on things. I don't deal with it well.
Do the one sausage finger thing. Listen, let me tell you.
I'm going to find you. I have a specific set of skills. I'm taken, except there's nothing altruistic about me trying to save my kid. It's like someone leaves a bad review or a bad comment, and I'm like, I have a unique set of skills. I will find you, and I will poop on your face.
I think it's time for you to have a burner account where you just rip on people.
If I had a burner account, you would know it immediately. Our fans would know immediately. Like, wow, that guy's aggressively defending. Or Mo. Whatever, you're doing great. I think that people would aggressively know right away.
Yeah.
Like, this is Mo. There's no question. So Carl Weathers, I've got some pretty interesting facts about him. But before we jump into the full episode and we start really going down the rabbit hole, I have to say, likability for me plays a huge role into why I like actors and actresses.
Yep.
And going all the way back to, I know we're an 80s and 90s podcast, but going all the way back to Rocky 1 and Rocky 2, I hate to say this. I think I have to give you some credit for something, but I don't entirely remember it. So I guess I'm on the fence is whether you're going to get credit.
I'll take credit.
Rocky 2 is better than Rocky 1.
Yes.
I don't think I initially said that. I think I gave Rocky 1 all the credit, but I rewatched Rockies 1 through 4 in preparation.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
And it wasn't even because of the podcast.
No, good for you.
I wanted to see it.
Were you on the treadmill?
No.
You should have been.
That's a lot of treadmilling.
I would do it during the Rockies, though. If you're doing a Rocky pass through.
Carl Weathers, God, did he? I can't believe I'm going to say this.
He's the best part of all four. Like
Yeah.
he's the link that makes it so great.
I love Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
I love the movie. I love the writing. I love Dolph Lundgren. I love Mr. T. I love all of the
Mickey.
The only thing I don't love is
Adrian. But you're supposed to hate her.
I know. I don't know that you're supposed to hate her, but whatever.
Yeah.
But when I watch those movies and just the arc of his character going from the champ who gives him a shot, he's not unlikable in Rocky 1.
No. He's Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, he's a little arrogant, but he's not unlikable. In 2, the meta aspect of him, of his PR guy saying, you're going to be the villain if we do this. And he's like, I don't care. Get him in the ring.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. And then in 3, the has-beenness of it. He's got the chip on his shoulder and he just needs to be around it. He needs to be around boxing. He needs to...
And you find out where he's from and all the old school stuff. He goes back to his roots.
And the favor.
Yeah.
I'll help you, Rock, but you owe me a favor. And then starting off 4,
calling in the chip.
Yeah, where it's like, we need to box in the ring with each other because they want to,
ding,
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 ding, ding.
Who do you think won?
I don't know.
I think they were just both exhausted by the end and like shook hands and hugged.
I don't know. And then he dies.
Yeah.
And like is
that the worst death in sports history?
I rarely butt in. I promise not to do
there's
it.
awesome.
Butt in away.
You do know in Creed you find out who won.
What?
Have you watched the spin-off Creed?
I've seen Creed. I just don't remember.
Is it when he's talking with his mom and his mom
No,
tells him?
right in the beginning when they're looking at the picture in the restaurant or something like that, they talked about it.
And
do you want me to tell you?
Yeah,
yes,
ruin it.
Tell me, ruin it.
Creed won.
Oh my God.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's so
I
cool.
love it.
I forgot
love
about
it.
that.
I did too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then the Creed spin-off. All right, so anyways, that's great. Thank you. Hop in whenever, Costa.
Yeah.
You know that. Come on. We're looking to replace Max daily, so anything you can bring to the table is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quarter blood technique.
Wait.
No, it's bad news. The likability of Carl Weathers. I don't know if you've ever seen him interviewed, but he's actually just this thespian. He feels like a thespian who happens to be like an incredibly cut meathead.
It's what everyone wants to be.
Muscles. Yeah, he's fantastic. His passing away was brutal. When I was watching The Mandalorian and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, it's Carl Weathers. Yeah. I just remember thinking to myself like, Favreau, you son of a gun.
Yeah.
Like, what a great pull. Having him in there was perfect. He was great in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And he directed a few episodes too.
Yeah. He's actually a somewhat prolific director of TV episodes. He's done a dozen of different things. And I don't know, talented dude. So are you ready to jump into this? Because this is a monster. I got a lot of stuff
so
to cover.
let me start at the beginning and kind of spread this out. I was thinking about celebrity deaths that affected me in the same...
Can I stop you real quick?
Okay.
I have something important to share with you before we go any further.
Okay.
It's only one small thing. You know that I'm obsessed with Two Bears, One Cave?
Yeah.
Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer.
Yeah.
Have you seen the episode where Tom Segura like loses his mind because Bert has a giant jug of Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
So you know I have my giant thing of water.
There's not Kool-Aid in it.
It's not Kool-Aid, but have you ever seen those, like, I think they're like Mimos or whatever, like the little like squirt things? Mios, yeah, not Mimos. For
memes.
Memes, the JPEGs and GIFs and such. So I squeezed some of the red stuff into my water this morning, and I'm like came downstairs and I'm like basically drinking like 0-calorie Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And I feel very much like Bert.
No,
right now.
because Kool-Aid, the sugar kind
I know.
It's so
I know,
different.
But he's right. Let me tell you something. What he's right about.
Yeah.
There's just something nice about a little red Kool-Aid taste in the morning.
Did you see the one recently where they were talking about how vodka's a morning drink and it just like scratches your arm to say hello?
God, he's dying,
and then just
dying laughing.
Because it's complete alcoholic syndrome to describe it like that.
I love when Bert debates about like tells people like he's not an alcoholic.
Yeah, and then he
like,
does the most alcohol.
Oh God, what's the Mad TV guy?
Will Sasso?
No, the Asian guy.
Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee, thank you. So Bobby Lee, I guess he said like is in rehab right now.
He's an addict,
and he's like, like you're an alcoholic. He's like, I'm not an alcoholic. Like I'm fine. And
I can
like,
swim in the ocean still. Yeah.
It's
I
great
see
stuff.
there's sharks, but I like swimming in the ocean.
Unbelievable.
Like you have a problem.
Big time. All right, Max, let's do it. Let's talk Carl Weathers.
So I was thinking celebrity deaths and who affected me in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about likability and also Weathers is a big guy, but he can be vulnerable. He can lose. He kind of gives it all. He's corny, and you know he's in on the joke.
Right.
And I was thinking, what other celebrity who also passed has this kind of effect? And I thought about it, and a lightning bolt struck. It's Patrick Swayze. It's that vulnerability, athletic. They're corny. They're willing to be like, do anything on stage.
Yeah.
And they're in on the joke. And for some reason, they have these iconic like 4 or 5 roles.
Yeah.
But they really didn't have that long life of like the 25-year Robert De Niro actor thing.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point.
Right?
I guess this is the only adjustment I would make to your example.
Yeah.
We knew Swayze was sick.
Yeah.
And I think there's an element of Carl Weathers. I mean, Carl Weathers was just in a Super Bowl ad or a football commercial with Gronkowski.
Yep.
So I didn't know. I still haven't even looked into this. I don't even want to know.
That naturally seems like. Yeah.
And he was old, but
76.
But like people nowadays, they live to be in their 90s.
Yeah, when you're that big, the wear and tear, those guys usually don't live to 100.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're right. You're right.
Like you look at all the wrestler kind of guys.
It's interesting. You have often on the show talked about people whose careers inhabit the other space of other people's.
Yeah, the market correction. I love that stuff.
And he's in this really unique category. And maybe part of what I find fascinating about his career is there really wasn't a great opportunity for African-American actors in the 70s and in the 80s.
He carved out his own space.
Yeah, and quite frankly, even in the 90s, I mean, it was getting better. Denzel Washington, really. Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
But in the 80s, right? Danny Glover, James Earl Jones, Forrest Whitaker,
Wesley Snipes,
Billy D. Williams.
Yep.
Of all of them, and this is the greatest compliment that I can pay Carl Weathers, he just seemed bigger than life and had a little bit of the Schwarzenegger charisma. And I'm not just saying that because of Predator.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because there was something about Schwarzenegger when you just saw him, you would marvel at his personality and his body.
Yeah.
And Carl Weathers, I just am blown away by how jacked he was.
Oh my God. In Rocky 3 when he's like, come on, Rock. Yeah. You're like, oh my God, this guy's ripped.
Have you ever seen his Saturday Night Live monologue? It was in like, God,
was he was the host?
Yeah, and I can't remember when it was, but I just happened to catch it the other day. Because there's a Saturday Night Live skit that I was trying to find where it's a mock skit of him running for governor, because at that point Jesse Ventura, Arnold. Yeah. But anyways, in his opening monologue, he's like, I'm butchering it, by the way, but essentially he's like, acting is all about living in the imaginary. Like I was in a movie where I was a boxer and I lost to a slower, weaker white guy in a boxing match. And I was like, that's really funny. But I mean, he had like that charisma to him, and he was just so, I don't know. I'm all over the map. Let's start with this. Tell me about Carl Weathers. I'm sure you dug up when he was born and all that wonderful stuff.
Yeah, born January 14th, 1948, passed away February 1st, 2024, 76 years old.
Yuck.
Born in New Orleans, so maybe that's kind of like part of his vibe. It's like that kind of welcoming kind of. I've never been to New Orleans actually. So
but I have.
Yeah,
with our buddy.
Does he have that kind of essence?
Do you know what we haven't even talked about yet that you haven't even brought up because it's been like a week since I've been there? I was at the NFC champ. I was thinking about New Orleans and how I went to the Lions game with Sal.
And you talked to Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, Max. You haven't even asked me about the NFC Championship game, which I was at in San Francisco.
We talked about it last week.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Did we?
100%.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because there's a week in between the
I
Super
made fun
Bowl.
of you because your heart rate went 120
Max, I'm losing my mind.
BPM.
Go ahead, back
and
to
you didn't believe my heart rate's 48.
I know, you sent me a picture on your watch. I know. Okay, you're right. I'm sorry.
Just
losing my mind.
For something that nervous.
You're fine. Go
his
ahead.
father was a day laborer. He earned an athletic scholarship to St. Augustine High School.
Let's pause on that.
Okay.
St. Augustine High School is a prolific private school in New Orleans.
How do you know that?
They have, because this is the most wild statistic ever. So you know that being a college football player, you're like a percent of all high school football players in the United States. Being a NFL football player, you are a percent of that percent.
Oh yeah, it's one in a million.
It's like lightning striking.
Yeah.
St. Augustine has 33 graduated alumni who've played in the NFL.
Oh my God.
And you put and you go through the list and none of them are like particularly amazing. They're not names that would jump off the page.
Doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Yeah.
33 athletes that graduated from that high school in New Orleans went on to have a career, whether it be a day or 10 years in the NFL.
How'd you find that?
I just Googled. I saw it.
Did you have a feeling?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. I saw it as a fact. Like it said, went to St. Augustine, who has historically graduated a lot of football players. And I Googled St. Augustine graduated football players that are in the NFL. And it was 33.
Wow.
With I think 10 active right now.
Any you recognize there?
No.
Oh.
Like I said, none of them are like.
Yeah.
But wow.
Yeah,
33.
That's a lot.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, continue.
So he was active in boxing, football, gymnastics, judo, soccer, wrestling, and he went to Long Beach Poly High eventually, which is also like a NFL hotbed.
School.
I remember like Armani Toomer and like there's a bunch of actual really good players.
I think you just called Armani Toomer, and I love it. I will now call him Armani Toomer for the rest of my life.
Sounds right.
Fancy dressing Armani Toomer.
He played defensive end in college at Long Beach City College, and then went to San Diego State and was on like a really good team. They were 11-0, and they were ranked 18th in 1971. And then he went to the Raiders as a linebacker.
The Raiders, just win, baby.
He played 7 games in 1970. He was
linebacker, right?
Yeah. released in 1971. Do you hear this? John Madden, do you know why he told him why he cut him on the team?
No.
John Madden told him, he says, you're just too sensitive.
That's amazing.
Like prolific about his acting stuff.
That is perfect, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Can you imagine John Madden talking to Carl Weathers?
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. Give me a sub. Did you know that I hate John Madden?
Why?
Because everybody says that, because I just found when he would do and I understand he's a brilliant football mind. I've debated this with Bruce a million times.
He's like your uncle who's fun.
I don't like listening to commentators who are like, whoa, in the game, whoever scores the most points is going to win. Like, it's patronizing to me. I'm like, talk to me about the game. Don't talk to me about, I know you love it.
I want the little yellow marker.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Here's Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love this guy.
Boom. There he goes. Boom.
Do you like Chris Berman?
No, I hate Chris Berman.
Rumbling, bubbling,
I hate Berman. I hate Berman way more than I hate.
No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
The worst. The absolute worst.
So he didn't have an actual stat in the NFL. Didn't have a tackle. Didn't have a sack.
Other than making it, right?
Yeah. And he played in the CFL for one season, and then he got a drama degree in 1974 from San Francisco State University.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of cool, the NFL actually brought him back. Do you know about this?
No.
And from 1999 to 2001, the NFL season recaps, he voiced them over.
Oh, I did not know that.
Isn't that cool?
That's really cool.
Yeah. So
he did a lot of voiceover work. We'll get to Toy Story in a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got a great voice. You
Yeah.
know instantly it's Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
He's got this kind of, he's almost, I'm trying to think. Like, it is like a Greek god. Like, you feel like Zeus or like Poseidon would talk to you like that.
I'm going to call you Zeus and Poseidon.
Please. I like Hades. He's my favorite.
That's not weird at all. Continue. What else do you have?
He
Because I'm excited to get into his movies.
So he worked as an extra while he was still in football because
Yeah.
people just saw him. They're like, my God, you're a handsome man.
Do you know who he took acting classes with?
No.
Okay, so do you remember the movie Saturday Night Fever?
Yeah.
So there's an actress, her name
Johnny.
is jeez. There's an actress, her name is Donna Pescow.
Okay.
I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sure I'll be told if I'm not, because our fans love to correct my pronunciations.
Did you fourth wall
I
break
love
for
you
that?
guys.
Yeah.
I love you. She was the girl who, like, all she wanted was like, geez, I don't want to be with you, but like he was still with her.
Yeah.
Remember the girl that got passed around to the entire friend group?
Yep.
Okay, so that was her.
Yeah.
Who like later she was in a bunch of stuff. She was on like Even Stevens or whatever. So anyways, he was in a New York acting class with her.
Oh, that's cool.
And then she went on for her debut, which was Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
There's a pretty big age gap. I believe she was quite a bit younger than him, but I could be wrong. And then he went on to have, he did some great stuff even prior to getting into film. Do you have his full list? Because I've got, go ahead.
Blaxploitation stuff. He did. It was extras in that. He was on Good Times and Kung Fu as an extra.
But it's an important note. And maybe I'm reading into this more. Like Good Times was a very big deal show.
Yeah.
It was a black, like inner city family that was driven by African American actors and actresses. It dealt with their stories. It was from their perspective. It was that lens that was shooting it. So the fact that he was in that was a big deal. He went on to do. To your point, he loved blaxploitation films.
Yeah.
He had a now this is important. It comes into play later when he gets into his film career, but he was a huge fan of blaxploitation films.
And Starsky and Hutch, he was in one episode. And so he got his big break. Do you want to keep going with other stuff, or you want to get into Rocky now?
Let me just see. I don't know if I have any other facts that are kind of pre-film, pre-film, but I don't think I do. I think you can go. Well, this has nothing to do with film, but I just think it's awesome. In 2016, he was inducted into the International Mustache Hall of Fame.
It's a great mustache.
It's a great mustache.
Does anyone have a mustache even similar to him? Because
Tom Selleck.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
He's got
the African American Selleck.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And he's got the chest hair. I was wondering, his chest hair is unique.
Can we not go into that weird thing that you do about his chest hair?
It's taco meat.
I don't want to. It's weird. You did.
Well,
I don't want to.
I have great chest hair too.
No, you don't have great anything.
Every woman I've ever dated has said I have great chest hair.
By the time they're at the point where your shirt's off,
Do you want me to take my shirt off?
No, I don't. We're good.
I'll do it.
Do you want to milk me? I have nipples. This is Greg.
I'll burnt this place so
All right.
hard.
Are we ready to go
Yep.
now?
So
Thanks for taking it exactly where I didn't want you to take it, as usual. Oh, Jesus.
push it
Max.
to the limit.
Scarface. It's amazing. All right, Max, continue.
You just swear we're gonna have to bleep that out.
All right, we're going to have to bleep that out.
was
You
under-
got me. You got me.
Yeah. Bradley, make sure that was under his breath.
I was
You were
under
just
my
like,
breath. Well, he'll catch it.
Okay. That was like sneaky. But when he auditioned for Rocky, he gave Sly like guff about Sly's acting.
No, he
style.
said, "Are you going to have me do this with a real actor?"
Yeah.
And he knew that Sly had written Rocky, but he didn't know that he was also going to be the star of Rocky. And his guff that he gave Sly, he believes is why he even got the role.
Yeah.
Because didn't Sly have like 1,000 fighters come in for this?
Yeah. You're thinking of Dolph.
Rocky, I'm thinking of Dolph. No, but I think he also for this, not 1,000, but he had a lot.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
In his career, Sly says he's always had like hundreds of people acting for everything.
Yeah.
Dolph's the big one where it's like 4,000 or something.
Yeah,
like
you're
that.
right. You're right.
And he likes hiring people he kind of dislikes initially.
Because it builds that tension.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like when he saw Dolph, he
absolutely.
hated him.
Yeah. Well, skipping to Rocky 4, Carl Weathers was scared of Dolph Lundgren.
Well, he was pushing him around and like beating him up and like he quit Rocky 4.
Oh, I don't remember that.
So Dolph pushed him into a corner.
Yeah.
He stormed off. He's like, F this. I'm not working with this guy anymore. Production had to stop for 4 days
Oh, my Lord.
until they made sure that Dolph was going to like play nicer.
So Rocky 1 through 4, let's just pause and kind of take a minute to
I get goosebumps just when you say that.
I know.
That's just a sweet spot.
But I go back to this before. We've talked about these movies that are these Mount Rushmore films.
Yep.
They required so many things to work the right way, right? Like even looking at Paulie, right?
Yeah.
And like Uncle Paulie, he was perfect. Why can't I think of the actor's name?
Burt Young.
Burt Young.
Just,
thank
he
you.
passed recently too.
Yeah, I know. God, everybody from Rocky's dying.
But,
put
I mean,
Sylvester Stallone in a bubble.
For him, like he looked like he was about to die for 30 years.
But it's weird if you look at Rocky 2, he gets super thin, and then in Rocky,
Burt?
and then in Rocky 3, he bubbles back up again.
Well, he used to be a boxer too back in the day.
All of these movies required this perfect alignment to happen, but no bigger piece of the puzzle for me than Carl Weathers. Apollo Creed made both of those movies.
He ties everything in.
When he's in the hospital, I'm so glad you told me that fact about Madden saying he was too sensitive.
Yeah.
When he's laying in the bed and Rocky kind of wheelchairs over to him after there's been the whole for TV, like, I'll take you down in 3 rounds, da-da-da-da. He rolls in and goes, "Yo, Apollo, I got to ask you something." And he's just like, "What?" He's like, "You give me everything you got?" And he goes, "Yeah, man. Yeah." I know it's like so simple and stupid, but like for me, those kind of moments, like I get goosebumps right now thinking about it.
No, it's like the blood sport, Anytime My Brother.
Yeah.
Like that
Anytime.
yeah.
Don't ever compare Bloodsport to this movie,
hey,
please.
Jean-Claude can't act. That one scene for some reason
I
is
know,
an Oscar reel.
I know.
Anytime.
With him and Ogre.
Randy Jackson.
Nerds!
I'm gonna put those scenes side by side of like who did it better.
Yeah. I can tell you who did it better. Jesus Christ.
People are gonna be like, "Whoa."
There's something so understandable and human about, he's upstairs in Rocky 2 reading all the hate mail.
Yeah.
And his wife comes by and he's like, wait, listen to this one. And he's like, "You're a bum, go kill yourself."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Don't you want to come play with your kids? Like, learn to ignore it." He goes, "Ignore it." And he like throws all the papers. I'm like, this is every single man that I know that just wears the chip on his shoulder and can't let it go. I'm imagining like Dan Campbell at his house right now, like, "Because I won that game.
Yeah.
Give me my coffee." Oh man.
How many times a day do you think about it?
All the time.
Yeah.
But the game or Rocky movies or both?
Which one do you think about more?
Right now, it's a tie between thinking about Rocky all the time and thinking about the Lions. So Rocky 1 through 4. Rocky 4, at the beginning of this, you talked about how he was just willing. He had a sense of humor. He like knew himself. He was willing to kind of like laugh at himself. Yeah. Apollo Creed in the, living in America. Get the guy. Hot tub. Going in that, that skit from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you knew.
No, when he's dancing, it's insane. Yeah.
It's the best.
Like Drago, when Drago looks up at him from like underneath and he's like, this guy is out of his mind.
Yeah. I mean, like, and they died. And also
the way he fell.
And when he's laying on the ground and he dead twitches on the ground, you're like, oh my God.
Oh, and also, I mean, like his speeches beforehand are some of the, like the most prolific, like pre-war speeches. They'll fire you up. It's like,
oh my gosh,
I'm always going to be a fighter.
Eye of the Tiger.
And well, I mean, he's the only one that says Eye of the Tiger in 3, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing.
Yeah. But in 4,
in 4, yeah.
When he's like, you promise me you'll never throw in the towel.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't give up on fighting. And like, that's the kind of first time I understood the psychology of the NBA or NFL player that can't hang it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I got the look.
It was great, dude. And again, this friendship, like Rock loses Mick in 3.
Yeah.
And then he loses his best friend in 4.
But gives the worst.
And then Paulie sells
speech.
I know, his funeral speech is terrible. All right, so we move from the Rocky movies.
Yep.
Max, do you have the list in order of where we're going?
Let's see. In order, I kind of categorize it as random TV acting stuff random movie acting stuff, and then his like big 5 roles.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go through all the small stuff. Although I will say, that Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1977, is one of my favorite movies. I know you're.
I don't know
not
why.
a huge fan.
Yeah.
I love it. There is a scene with Carl Weathers in it. You can't find it when you're watching the movie, or at least I couldn't. But if you Google the image, so I feel like it was like left on the cutting room floor. You can see him as one of the military security guards. It's not a big role, but I just thought it was kind of cool that he was in one of my favorite movies. But that is going to lead to a bigger conversation that we're going to have soon about this weird tie-in about my favorite movies, Carl Weathers, and how all these things connect to each other. So Rocky 2 was in 79. Rocky 3 was in 82.
Yep.
Rocky 4 was in 85.
Yep.
And again, like I am...
That's his biggest movie.
I'm absolutely skipping some TV movies he did. But let's talk about 1987, if we shall. Predator. He makes that movie for me. And you're gonna. This is gonna be a reoccurring theme. Schwarzenegger is absolutely. This is his best movie. This is Schwarzenegger's absolute best movie. Is Predator.
What's your power ranking for what person makes the movie for you?
It's Schwarzenegger and then Carl Weathers.
So I go Landham too.
Really?
Yeah.
You love Sonny Landham. He's great.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
The question becomes, if you remove one person from the movie, how great does the movie remain? So we believe here at Buzzn The Tower, let's double camera this, we believe that on a scale of 0 to 100, Predator is 100.
Yep. It's a perfect movie.
If you remove Schwarzenegger from the movie, it goes to a 60.
Wow. Okay.
If you remove Carl Weathers, but keep Schwarzenegger, it goes to an 85, a 90.
Okay. Yeah.
If you remove Sonny Landham,
0.
but keep we're obviously not dealing in reality, so that's fine. Moving right along. Predator, there are so many amazing stories about Carl Weathers from Predator. First of all, I love that he is, and this is your Patrick Swayze example is probably perfect in this sense. Because Swayze felt like he could have a bunch of beers and watch the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
But he also was going to Juilliard and dancing and doing ballet.
Yeah, exactly.
So Carl Weathers is a man's man, but he's also has a frail ego. All these guys on Predator, you have Jesse Ventura, Sonny Landham, you got Schwarzenegger, Bill Duke. They shipped in a gym into the jungle. And they worked out every day because on top of wanting to shoot this movie,
they wanted to be the biggest guy.
They wanted to be as ripped as they could be. Carl Weathers would get up at 3:00 in the morning and work out by himself so that he could give the impression to his co-stars that he just naturally was jacked.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's so awesome. Like, that's just, and like, you know,
it's psychotic.
And you know, like he was a health nut.
Yeah.
And he I'm talking like squeezed, blended his vegetables and
his venison blended.
Didn't drink, didn't smoke.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger got him hooked on cigars.
Yeah.
Hooked.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, these things are great.
I mean, Arnold hands you a cigar, you're going to smoke it.
The handshake between Dillon and Dutch.
What do you think the force is in there?
I don't even know, dude.
Like the PSI.
We did one of our first episodes, season 1 of Buzzn The Tower. We talked about Predator, and you said, this is I for the rest of my life, it was the most brilliant thing you ever said. Their arms grabbing, their hands slapping to each other is like the equivalent of taking a redwood and snapping it in half. That's what it sounds like. It's just exactly what it sounds like. When interviewed, Carl Weathers says when he meets fans, the majority of them walk up to him and say, "Dillon, you son of a bitch," and slap his hand, and he loves it.
Yeah,
he finds it flattering, and I'm like, good for him.
Yeah,
for like having such a good attitude about it.
Yeah,
and my greatest regret in life is that I never had a chance to meet him and just do that.
You still got Arnold. You still got hope.
That's true. I don't know that Arnold's going to be crossing paths with me anytime soon, but you never know.
Yeah,
if you get on top of reaching out to his son,
I've tried.
Have you though?
Yeah.
Have you tried like when you tell me I'm doing my best?
No, it's different. Multiple times.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Right, good. God, Dillon and Predator, man. Just like you're looking at this guy who's supposedly with the CIA, who's wearing a dress shirt that looks like it's spandex because he's like busting out of it.
The tie is so short
too.
The
CIA. What's this? You're gonna have to bleep out so much of this costume or whatever. What's this tie bullshit? CIA's got you pushing too many pencils. Just everything he says, like Dutch is like, this isn't my style. Why me? Because some damn fool said you were the best.
Yes. Someone who can give it back to Arnold actually like properly. And it's throughout the whole movie. When they're trying to trap the Predators, like what's next? Cheese?
Yeah.
And Arnold looks visibly upset.
Yeah.
It's only him and Sonny that really give Arnold guff.
At the end when everything changes, right?
I picked up too many bad habits.
Yeah, he's like, I'll get him. Like you go to the job. He's like, it's not just style.
Yeah.
He's like, So good. It's like their relationship. I just want to see like part 2.
Yeah.
No Predator, just the two of them hanging out.
Or I would love to see the prequel 20 years beforehand.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. Yes, I'm not going to get into that. That's a different conversation because I'm curious about what that actually looked like. Because I know they knew each other, but it was more his crew that was with each other. Dillon wasn't a part of their crew.
Was he not? Because the CIA pushing too many pencils. I feel like he was part of their crew and moved up and upgraded. Because remember, he's like, you're an asset, an expendable asset. Like, I grew up, I got a new job. Yeah. Like, I feel like he was part of that crew. How's the Kool-Aid?
It's so good, Max.
Yeah. Are you a Mio boy now?
I don't know, man.
How many squirts?
I know it's early.
How many squirts?
It's 1 squirt for every 8 ounces, and this is holding 36 ounces.
So did you use a whole bottle of
4
Mio?
Squirts? No, just 4 squirts.
I'm going to call you 4 Squirt Mo.
That's probably not an appropriate name, but you do you, Max. You do you. What else do you have on Predator? I have one more thing.
Let's see. No, I have the cigar thing too. He's the perfect movie. Like, you shouldn't root for him, and you shouldn't feel bad when he dies. And you do. Yeah. It's incredible.
So
he's like Bodhi.
While on Predator, he was spending a lot of time chatting with the executive producer Joel Silver. And while talking to Joel Silver, who also was a huge fan of blaxploitation films, he pitched Action Jackson.
Oh yeah.
And that's how Action Jackson came to be.
And one of their PAs gave the name Action Jackson because he was Australian.
And that's a term, in Australia.
I'm in like Action Jackson.
I'm in like Action Jackson, mate. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
You don't have a very good Australian accent for someone who loves it so much.
I haven't lived. I haven't lived there in 20 years.
Yeah,
and I also did it kind of quick.
Why don't you take your kids there?
It's a little bit of a plane ride. 16 hours from LA to Sydney.
Just have them drink a bottle of NyQuil each.
Okay, well, you're dad of the year.
I didn't realize, by the way, the title poster thing is a dead rip of James Bond stuff.
I didn't either.
Yeah, because he's standing like this, and like Shannon Stone is like that. Yeah.
If you appreciate Action Jackson for what it is, which is a modernization of a blaxploitation film, it works perfectly.
What did Quentin Tarantino do in the 90s?
Delaplane.
Yeah.
Gosh darn Delaplane.
Craig T. Nelson.
I love Action Jackson.
Yeah. Everyone does.
I think that Carl Weathers was bummed because he thought it was going to be his commando. It was his launch point.
It was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Like, people didn't...
There's not a lot of people out there saying Action Jackson was ahead of its time.
Well, no, I'm saying taking the 70s kind of like aesthetic and really applying it to the nowadays stuff and being able to laugh at yourself kind of thing. People thought he was being serious. I think he knew it was a joke.
You're right. It's interesting because I don't want to say it didn't kill his career, but it quieted his career.
Yeah.
So coming out of Predator and then Action Jackson, you're like, all right, this is like the lead. This is the African-American leading actor of the late 80s, early 90s. A lot of TV, right? He went from Action Jackson to Dangerous Passion, Tour of Duty, Hurricane Smith. Have you seen Hurricane Smith? Because I've not.
No.
We need to see it. That is a movie he's in. I have to be honest with you.
It sounds like one of those like Boz bad action movies, like White Lightning or something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to call you White Lightning. That's a great name.
Well, I'm down with that.
Ops Center, In the Heat of the Night.
There's a cop show like Criminal Suicide that he had 44 episodes as the lead.
Street Justice.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Criminal Suicide. Street Justice, whatever, same thing.
Sorry, I saw the Rick and Morty episode where they turn to spaghetti when they commit suicide.
I'm very purposefully fast forwarding to 1996.
All on the hips.
Yeah. For me, I think for a lot of people, let me explain this in an interesting way. There is something wonderful about people like Adam Sandler, and he's not the only one who does this, but when you get to a point in your career where you're just an average guy, like you and I, and you have your movies that you love and things that were important to you, and you have the opportunity to make a movie. Like, I just feel like he probably was like, let's get Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
For him, the Carl Weathers he's getting is Apollo Creed, is Predator, is Action Jackson.
Well, there's a direct reference to Predator in the movie, you know.
Oh, I need you to hold on this because I'm gonna get to a big what's it called? The meta universe on this whole thing.
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you're talking about. Max, he was just an absolute delight in this movie. I mean, like his comedic chops. When he did Saturday Night Live, he was actually a little stiff and awkward.
Really?
Yeah. If you go back and I just watched his opening monologue and it was like whatever. But he is absolutely hysterical in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
As Chubbs, the man who lost his hand and is now training Happy Gilmore on how to play golf.
I took his eye. You're pretty sick, Chubbs.
He's just. I mean, he did other stuff like later. He did Arrested Development.
Have you seen that?
I've not. Is it good?
It's so funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know he plays himself, right?
But he's like cheap.
Like a cheap version of
yeah,
himself. Yeah.
So, by the way, do you realize Happy Gilmore is the reason he didn't act much more after this? So he did a stunt. I'm guessing it's him falling out of the window.
I heard about him hurting himself. Yeah.
Not hurting. He fractured 2 of his vertebrae, and his stephophytes connected and fused badly. He was in like pain, like unbelievable pain for 3 to 4 years. For 3 to 4 years after that. You think like you did Predator, you did Action Jackson, you did Rocky, and this is the movie where you hurt yourself.
That is funny.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that he got hurt, but
I know, it's such a bummer.
Right. I guess maybe I am going to go to your point. So I'm going to jump out of order because I have this like whole thing planned to tell you about.
Okay.
I think you're going to love this.
Okay.
What are my 2 favorite movies of all time?
Predator and hold on, what's your second favorite movie? Point Break.
No.
Okay.
I'll give you a clue. You have famously underplayed what a great movie it is as an 80s film.
Oh my God.
Requiring us to do an entire episode
Next
about
of Kin?
I'm going to murder you. Down here, it's our time, Max.
Oh, The Goonies. Yeah.
Let me ask you again
Sorry.
to redeem yourself. What are my 2 favorite movies of all time?
Predator and The Goonies.
There is, and this is when you're sick like me, and I
Carl
want you
Weathers in The Goonies?
No, he's not in The Goonies, but I'm going to get there. Hold on. I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to slow walk through this.
Okay.
You know that one of my favorite scenes from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is when Charlie's got the map board with all of the pins trying to figure out.
Pepe
Silvio, yeah. I want to do throw a little clip of that in there for people to remember. I'm going to Pepe Silvio, The Goonies and Predator, and also Stranger Things.
Okay.
Stranger Things.
How high did you give you for this?
That's none of your business. Stranger Things, if I can divert for a second.
Yep.
Stranger Things is what I view as being the greatest taste of my childhood without lazily just reenacting my childhood.
It's a Memberberry Sunday.
It's a Memberberry Sunday. And in the past, we've talked about Stranger Things on the show. What if I told you that I can tie all this together in a bow?
What do you mean you can tie it all together?
Carl Weathers, Predator,
Yeah.
Goonies,
Stranger Things?
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's going to get a little dicey. But
Okay.
Here we go. Did you know that Carl Weathers had a single?
A music single?
A music single.
Like what? Like Eddie Murphy Party All the Time kind of stuff?
Yes, exactly. Like Eddie Murphy Party All the Time.
That's what I picture.
That's what it is. How do you feel about that? It's called
Can he sing?
You Ought to Be With Me is the name of the song.
Is there a music video?
I don't know if there's a video, but let me tell you something.
Okay. When did this come out?
Stranger Things Season 2, Episode 5.
They played it?
It's called Dig Dug.
No way.
Just wait. So the St. Clair family, you know Lucas, right?
Yeah.
Young African-American family. They're all sitting at breakfast. His sister Erica is putting too much syrup on the pancakes. Yeah. And Lucas turns to his dad and is like, what do you do when mom's mad at you? Because he's having trouble with Max. And his dad's like, well, first I apologize. He's like, well, what if you didn't do anything wrong? And
Still apologize.
He still apologize, okay? The music being played in the background of this like Cosby family breakfast is Carl Weathers.
How did you find this?
Because this is what I do. Did
you search Stranger Things? Or
I just literally was like trying to learn everything I could about Carl Weathers. I found the song, and then I'm like, I wonder if this was in any movies or shows. And of course, it's in Stranger Things.
God bless them.
Thus making Stranger Things the greatest thing ever. Now, I'm going to jump out of this for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the fact that you were talking about. In Predator, I knew that in Happy Gilmore, my heart told me that the reason he had a fake hand was a tip of the hat to Predator.
Yep.
But I didn't know that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Yep.
The reason that Chubbs is missing his hand is a tip of the hat to Dillon from Predator.
Yeah, because of the crocodile, too.
Yeah. Yep, of course. Because a crocodile is a predator.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Thank you for pointing that out in case someone didn't follow.
If someone didn't see Happy Gilmore, they wouldn't know it was a croc.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Points given. I apologize. Now let me tell you about how this all ties together with Stranger Things and the Goonies and everything else.
Happy Gilmore ties with Stranger Things?
If it's not so much. I'm all over the map. I'm just excited about this. You do know that Stranger Things has paid other tributes to the movie Predator. So the police officer in Stranger Things is Jim Hopper. Do you know who else is Jim Hopper?
Who?
The CIA guy that the cabinet minister. Not the cabinet minister. Remember the first group of Green Berets that went out there? Those are Jim Hopper's men.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah.
That's Jim Hopper.
Yeah, it's the dog tag. They pull his name.
Jim Hopper.
Yeah.
Max, do you know the name of the town in Stranger Things?
It's something in
Hawkins.
Yeah.
Hawkins.
Yeah.
Oh, and Hawkins' body found.
Yeah.
So that is confirmed a direct tip of the hat
That's
to
cool.
Predator. Max, who is one of my favorite characters from the Goonies? Let me give you a clue.
Mouth? Or?
He wears a Superman shirt.
Oh, it's a chunk.
Chunk.
I mean, no, Sloth. Sloth. Yeah. Hey, you guys.
Before becoming an actor in such movies as One Crazy Summer and The Goonies, where did that gentleman reside?
He was a Raider.
He was a football player for the Raiders.
Yeah.
The Raiders.
Yeah.
Who else played football for the Raiders?
Carl
Weathers.
And
it's all coming together.
by the way, you can actually say, I can do a Rocky tie into that. So, Carl Weathers based his character on Muhammad Ali.
Yep.
John Mazurkas,
Yes.
who you just said,
Yep.
did an exhibition boxing match against Muhammad Ali.
It's all coming together. Let me throw a couple more things in there. This has way more to do with the Goonies than anything else, but I always look for an opportunity to talk about the Goonies. In season 1 of Stranger Things, do you remember the bully that goes after Mike and then 11 has to step in and use her powers?
Yep.
Do you remember what the bully's name was?
No.
Troy.
Which is
The name of the guy in the Goonies. Remember whose dad is the real estate guy?
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
Andy,
Yeah.
you Goonie. That's Troy. Okay. I got a couple more. Mike and Mikey.
Yeah.
Right? So Mike from Stranger Things, Mikey. Sean Astin made his way into both, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Again, like the Stranger Thing guys are just like, let's make Mo's life.
Yeah.
Let's make his day. Let's sprinkle a little of all of his favorite things.
How are
in
you
there.
going to feel in season 5 when they're all like 38?
I'm not. I'm very excited about it. So my oldest daughter is in Stranger Things right now, and she
cool.
loves it. So like, it's kind of, we're both like, super excited to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of sputtered around
That's
on that one.
incredible,
But I
though.
thought all those
No,
little connections were pretty
You had
cool.
the right idea with the Pepe Silvio thing.
That's
like the red line.
I had to show you how it all connected.
You know that's based on Beautiful Mind, right?
Yeah.
That's what is really.
I know.
Okay. But
I
you
know.
wanted the Charlie Day version.
I want the Charlie
Okay.
Day version. Yeah.
Well,
Because it's hilarious.
You know what Pepe Silvio is, right?
Yeah. It's Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just can't read.
You just can't read, that's the layered, amazing part of it. Max, I love It's Always Sunny. I'm at the point now.
Do you want to do
where
an 80s,
I
90s tie?
Well, there's 2 shows that do an amazing, I should say 3. We've already talked about how Rick and Morty just pull tons of stuff from the 80s. There's 2 other shows that the 80s references are so incredible and
Solar
abundant.
Opposites?
No, I'm going back further than that.
Okay.
Workaholics.
Yep.
And It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Those 2 just, the pulls are incredible.
Yeah.
There's a whole episode in Workaholics that's about like trivia night.
The
and
Never Ending Story,
yeah,
car,
it's
and
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
You made me
it's so
watch it
good.
like immediately after you
I
saw
know,
it.
because
Yeah.
it was incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I've totally lost where I was. What are we on now? We were talking about
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
But let me pose something for you now. Is there a Carl Weathers kind of doppelganger now walking the earth? Like, who is Carl Weathers now? Like, The Rock is not
No,
Yeah.
not The Rock. The Rock's too like,
wrestlery.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, who's the vulnerable big guy? Terry Crews?
That's good.
That's not bad.
Terry Crews is a little too cartoonish for me.
That's true, too. Yeah.
That's maybe the only reason why.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But I would also argue to your point, who's Schwarzenegger today? Like these archetypes don't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
really
just,
sad.
It is. And like you saw this in film, like the 70s, it was, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
In the 80s, it was jacked up steroid, and then in the 90s, it was Keanu Reeves.
The Bruce
right?
Willis, kind of like the smaller guy. Who could still
So
kick
now
your butt.
it's all a bunch of like, skinny jean wearing,
What about Chris Hemsworth?
millennials. Hemsworth
He's got it, kinda.
You know what? That's a good call for
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Hemsworth is definitely a Schwarzenegger because he's got the like bravado, especially as Thor. That's a great call.
Yeah.
He's got the comedy, but also the action hero-ness.
So,
I like that.
I'm hoping there's been in talks for a long time. Todd Phillips, who did The Hangover.
Project X.
There's been talks forever of him doing a Hulk movie with Chris Hemsworth being Hulk Hogan in the
That'd be
80s.
good. That'd
Oh
be
my
really
God,
good.
yeah.
I am a real American.
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
What you gonna do? No, every time I do that, I sound like
Macho.
Macho Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. God.
But-
Who'd be a good, be a great Macho Man?
Who?
I'm trying to think. Oh my God.
Terry Crews.
Yeah. Terry Crews. Carl Weathers. God, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Who's a modern day Carl Weathers?
That's what he's unique. You know what I mean? There's no one really like that.
Do you know who could be, who could kind of inhabit that space a little bit?
What?
Remember in remember in Black Panther, you had the leader of the neighboring tribe. And I can't remember the actor's name. Big guy, funny.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. He like leads the gorilla tribe. Yeah.
He's got a little bit of
I like that
feel.
That's
to
a good
him.
call.
Yeah.
He's been in some horror movies too and stuff like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
I like
but
that.
But it's still not like Hemsworth is an amazing call for
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger. Dude, we should do a modern day recasting of Predator.
Oh my God.
I don't even know where to begin. Who do you put for Billy? Who is like who just did the Joker? Joaquin Phoenix
For Billy?
for Billy.
That'd be insane.
I know.
Yeah.
Billy's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Max, what other movies items do you want to cover?
Trying to think. So he was the god of basketball in what's it called? Regular show.
Okay.
And he's really cool. Like he's like got
Toy Story. We didn't even talk about Toy Story.
Yeah, Carl Combat, right?
Yeah.
Or Combat Carl?
Yeah, I think it's Combat Carl.
Yeah.
Let's double check that though, because I don't want to be wrong, because we'll get yelled at.
No, he's Combat Carl.
Yep, Combat Carl. You're right.
Also, he directed videos for the U.S. military.
I know. He has a
He's-
production company. Hold on, I got the name of it. I'll give you the name of his production company. I thought that was wild when I read that.
Some Damn Fool Productions.
That would be amazing if that was the name of it. It's called Red Tight Media. Yeah,
Huh.
Red Tight Media.
Not the best name.
No, but he would it was actually not only did he own the production company, but he was doing the voiceover work and he was showing people like how to use missiles.
Yeah.
He did acting classes for like Iraqi refugees to teach them how to like integrate back into like military zones,
wow.
and all types
Yeah.
of weird stuff.
And The Mandalorian, we got to say how much of a joy that was.
Mando.
Because him and Pedro Pascal, like their relationship and him
They're
just
great.
being like, Mando,
Yeah.
you son of a.
I
Basically, it's
know.
that. It's
I
like,
know.
yeah.
It's interesting. Like he did a good job of the Billy D feel.
Yeah. I didn't think about that
Was
until
it
now.
done purposefully, you think, or?
I don't know. He's just a cool guy in general.
Yeah.
Like later in life, I feel like that's what was told of him, or like what he thought he was doing. You
Yeah.
know? It feels like Billy.
He was
did.
great. I thought he was great.
Yeah.
I loved the Mandalorian, bringing him in and then bringing in what's his face from Breaking Bad. I just was like, oh my God, this is like all my favorite actors.
Oh yeah, Juan Esposito or Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah. Juan.
What was the beginning of the show? The name that you butchered? Armani
Toomer.
Armani Toomer.
I put one R in there.
It's Armani. It's a big R.
Yeah.
It's a really big R.
I guess.
All right, Max. So wrapping up our thoughts on Carl Weathers, I'm going to give you a tough one.
Okay.
Favorite scenes, favorite movies, favorite moments. You don't have to do all three, but when you close your eyes at night and the last thing on your mind is Carl Weathers, where's your mind drift?
I love the mini golf scene in Happy Gilmore where it's all in the hips.
Yeah.
You get him trying to say your happy place. And like Carl Weathers saying that to you like this, and then you envision the happy place.
Yeah, yeah.
There's something about that that's just magical to me.
Yeah.
In Rocky 3, when Rock's like, tomorrow. He's like, there's no tomorrow.
It's
Like,
such a great
and he's wearing the
speech.
crop top, which is
Yeah.
very rare.
Yeah.
Also, the slow motion beach
Running.
run scene.
Yeah, yeah. Other than that, are there any other scenes that like just?
I mean, the Predator welcoming scene, some damn fool said you were the best.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And his death, too. Like when he gets like kind of.
His arm gets blown off
And
his gun is still
lambasted.
shooting
Yeah.
on the ground.
Yeah, but also he gets picked up, remember? And
Oh,
like
yeah.
you realize how big
Yeah,
the Predator
yeah.
is for the first time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just anything. I mean, Action Jackson, when he jumps on the car, he does the backflip and gets on the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, just he had such a presence about him. I could pick any. You could literally close your eyes and pick any scene. He controls all the scenes he's in.
Yeah, I think for me, I love in Predator. This is so obviously the interaction between him and Arnold at the beginning of the movie when he's in that room.
Yeah.
And he's just like, some damn fool said, and the hand slap.
They're
That's
doing the
just-
Max scenes.
That's
with the
incredible.
Scorpion.
The Max scene in particular, when there's something that he does that I think is overlooked and not easy to do. He makes himself come across as goofy and corporate.
He's a good scene partner. He
And-
lets someone else shine.
But he grows out of it. So he goes from first seeing Arnold hand slap, toughness, to like, getting tobacco spit on his shoe in the chopper. And when he almost gives up their position and Matt grabs him and goes, give up position one more time. I'll cut you, lead you here to bleed.
Got that?
Got that? Yeah. I don't care who you are in the world. That, by the way, if we were doing an episode about Mac, about oh God, what's the
Bill
actor?
Duke.
Bill Duke.
If Bill Duke dies soon, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah, if we were doing an episode about Bill Duke, I would be talking nonstop about like his
Dry shaving.
the dry shaving, the so Susie, she's so sweet, she got everything your Uncle John needs.
Oh baby.
Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby.
He sounds post-coital.
It's amazing. And then him saying, "Give up a position again."
I got you.
leave you here to die, bleed and die. But like when you look at Carl Weathers' face when he's going through that entire scene.
Oh yeah, he knows he's wrong. It's like me on the show most of the time.
It's you in life most of the time. So I would say that. I love like the secondary acting of Carl Weathers in that, where he allows that scene to kind of take hold of him. And then, gosh, man, I mean, he just in Rocky 3. When I rewatched all the Rockies, Rocky 3, I was like, dude, he's just him and Paulie. Yeah. Paulie, who's like clearly a racist. Like everywhere they go, like, I don't feel safe. Hide my wallet. I don't like all these people. Well, maybe these people don't like you. Or what's wrong with me? Geez, I'm Paulie. Yeah. But like his interactions between like when Apollo would be like, you ever shut up? And like just all of that. Like, it's just fun. It's like it's good banter. I don't know, man. It's a bummer.
He was the best.
He was the best. Who would you recast in any of his movies?
God, as Chubb.
So let's go Predator. Who would you recast him as in Predator?
Okay.
From the same era.
God, Predator. Big guy. There's no one who had his role. There's no one that big and muscular.
I would go totally another direction. I would move away from the muscular. I'd pull like a Wesley Snipes, or I'd pull like a Denzel Washington. I'd slide him in there and let him be like a thinner actual CIA guy and just live with it.
No, that works too. I would say acting chops wise, Wesley Snipes and Carl Weathers were kind of on the same bar.
Yeah. Like I think that would work.
They could do everything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
What about so we did Predator.
Action Jackson.
What about Rocky? I don't even think I could do it for Rocky.
No, no one.
There's no one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Action Jackson. Who could do Eddie Murphy? Eddie Murphy could do Action Jackson.
Yeah, that'd actually be really
It'd
good.
be really, really fun.
You're good at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Oh my God, Chubbs.
Oh.
Morgan Freeman could be funny.
No, you know who actually Morgan Freeman would be really good. But see, like Morgan Freeman's got too much of like a warm grandpa feel to him.
He can be kind of sleazy and fun once in a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Forrest Whitaker would be
One.
amazing.
Yeah, that's good. You're nailing this.
Yeah, and then The Mandalorian.
As an older statesman, kind of grizzled guy. Oh my God.
I've got it. I already know who it's going to be.
Who?
Danny Glover.
That's really good.
Danny Glover could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I got nervous. I can't.
Well, Max, if I nailed it and you got nothing else, that means it is time for the Buzzn The Tower fan spotlight. Max, today's Buzzn The Tower fan spotlight is Raul.
Yeah.
Tell us about Raul.
He's just the nicest guy. He like chimes in. He's like,
who's over here, Max? Am I over here? Who are you looking at? Everybody over there?
Yeah.
Look at my eyes when you talk to me, Max.
Is it weird that I don't make eye contact?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't do it.
I know.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it slowly. Sexy.
You son of a gun.
No, he always responds like, hope you guys are having an amazing day, doing an awesome job. I just rewatched Billy Madison because of you guys.
You know, it's him and Tony Huddleston Jr. And I bring this up with a lot of our fans. They're not the only ones. I think sometimes we're not successful. We have a good podcast, but we're not Joe Rogan.
No.
So like when people message us, just little positive affirmations about the show, it literally is all I have going on in my life right now. You for sure. This keeps you off the rope.
He asked if he could wear the Bane mask during his...
Did you say yes?
I said yes. I'm not sure if he did it or not.
I really hope he wore it. Carl Weathers.
Could have played Bane.
I hope so. All right. I'm excited to hear what Raul has to say. What did you just ask him for his like favorite moments about Carl Weathers?
Yeah,
or
favorite movie from Carl Weathers.
Oh, all right. Well, let's hear what Raul had to say. Yeah.
You guys asked me, reached out to me to ask me what was my favorite Carl Weathers performance. If I had to pick, for me personally, it would definitely be Apollo Creed. Because it's more of an inspirational level. Like, we all remember the scene where he was training with Rocky and Rocky was out of it. And he just kept saying, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. And
he brought that up.
He stopped him in his tracks and said, there is no tomorrow. That applies in real life. And that's why I took it as very inspirational, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. They always tell you, appreciate those today because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. The majority of us didn't expect to open Instagram or any social media just to see that Carl Weathers had passed away. It sucks. It really sucks. But at the same time, his memory will live on through the movies that he's done. It hurts. It hurts when we lose somebody that we kind of grew up on, especially on movies. I'm sure he appreciated all the fans. He was actually scheduled to go to Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, at GalaxyCon this year. My condolences to his family. And again, thank you guys for bringing me back to the show. hopefully I'll be back again soon. I leave that up to you guys. But yeah, thanks for having me back on, you guys. Take it easy.
Well, it's a good thing that we had him on the show because he brought the only like real touching element of it because you and I are jackals and we're just like, rah, Carl Weathers, rah. But he did
I'm a
Raul
hyena.
did a great job.
That's
you
all
are a terrible hyena.
Yeah.
Raul, thank you for
What a
the
nice guy.
serious man. But like,
I just want to hug him.
how he feels, I also think like you and I prepping for the show, like it was cathartic. Like we got all that
You got it out, yeah.
But that is how I felt when I saw it. I was like, oh,
And
God.
we've had 5 days too. Like we didn't get to do this like as a live react.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm
I'm
not
sure we
gonna-
would have been a mess.
Been a mess, yeah. But no, this was fun. I mean, like I like remembering. We did we done John Candy,
Swayze.
Yeah. I think there's a Robin Williams one in the future for us.
I've been trying to, and you don't want to do it. Okay. Now we have the 90s too.
Quiet, little lamb. Quiet.
It might be a 2-hour episode.
Yeah. It's a lot.
And we did instantly Richard Donner.
Yeah, that's right. God,
Yeah.
the Donner one was really good too. All right, so that concludes the episode on our tribute to Carl Weathers. Amazing actor, amazing dude. He'll be missed, but to Raul's point, his legacy will live on in the films that he's done. At minimum, all the things he's touched as well. So, to Apollo Creed, to Dillon, I say, rest easy, you son of a bitch. It's not the end of the show.
Oh,
that was a good way to end it.
That was great.
You're amazing though, because you're like, I'm done with the show.
I love walking
away from the show.
I love walking away on a high note.
No, we still have to do stuff like I gotta look at the camera like I am right now and say subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave a review.
Do that. Look into my eyes. That's sexy.
You've got Pete Davidson eyes.
All right, now what?
Why don't you close the show out? Remind the people what they need to do.
You got to subscribe.
By the way, we're keeping all of this.
Yeah.
Don't you get rid of any of it.
Go to YouTube. Check out our new YouTube station. See this beautiful studio that we've created.
Station! Never heard it called a YouTube station, but I love it.
It is. I think.
It's a channel.
Okay.
But station's
Radio,
awesome.
yeah.
And it got me to do my Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Station!
TikTok at Buzzn The Tower. Instagram, message us. Just let us know what movies you want to see, what you're thinking about. Just talk to us about movies.
Patreon.
I had a 5-minute discussion yesterday with this new fan, Eric, about the movie Heat.
Oh, God, you must have been so excited.
I was out of my mind.
Patreon.com/Buzzn The Tower to help support the Save Max Fund.
Yeah.
It's very low on money right now. But website, buzzinthetower.com. And we talked about leaving reviews, any podcast player out there. And that concludes the episode. How do you want to end? I know I already gave a really good ending when I said
It's all
rest
in
easy.
the hips.
It's all in the, let me give you Jericho Jackson quote. Do I have a good Jericho Jackson quote?
Pretty sick, Chubbs.
Yeah. We'll end with it's all in the hips. I like that, Max. Max, I'll see you next week.
Bye.